And we are also recording.
I also I decided that I'm going to take the resilient feat.
Okay. I like
Do we
it.
get a feat
Resilient,
this one?
resilient
do you
charisma.
want
Fuck you. We are the brick.
So who wants to recap for our stream / recording what happened last week?
I think crazy. Cause,
You nominate Crazy?
I nominate crazy.
My brain has been.
I can give you a very, very short rundown.
I suppose I haven't really done one in a while. I'll do it.
Yeah.
All right. So after starting your battle with Vagos, who had released himself from the shard in some kind of pseudo soul form, kind of like his soul actually had a physical form. You engaged in battle. You realize that his powers have grown substantially since you last faced him. Sid, in an attempt to possibly thwart some of Vagos' plans, or even what he perceived Vagos was trying to do, Sid, you teleported into the container where this Warforged body was. And as soon as you touched it, you got this vision from Lenetra, who said she was going to channel the final bits of her power into the Warforged frame to help you combat against Vagos, because he was kicking your ass for a bit there.
No, did you come up?
After that, Lenetra took over the body of the Warforged, burst out of the container, brought you with her, Sid, and then the fight continued until Lenetra went in for an attack and rolled a crit fail. And that is when Vagos used his opportune moment to reintegrate himself with the shard, which was now inside the Warforged body. So he had effectively fused his soul with Lenetra's and with the Warforged body, and then after that, he did some kind of weird ritualistic spell that happened in an instant, where he essentially clapped his hands together. All of the containers inside the room that you were in, containing all of these probably just immense amounts of soul energy that have been collected over the years, all released at once, and everybody got knocked back and knocked out. And that's when everyone kind of awoke in a very dark and yet familiar place. Jane is not familiar with this place, but there is definitely an oppressive and isolated feeling that it invokes.
How exciting.
And as you all do awaken, there is a cacophony of whispers that greet you. And we'll start with...
Didn't like that music change.
Oh, yeah.
This is Zara.
Let's start with... Ooh, you know what? Here we go. Let's make it interesting. Keltry. You awaken and you are sitting on a rather narrow platform of these wispy strands of silver. You've seen it before. It sort of serves as the pathways through the dreamscape. You look around as you awaken. There's only a very short distance on either side of you before you fall into the black void below. So you are careful not to shift too much as you look around and notice that you are alone. And there is only one direction out, and that is across a very small threading that leads from this space that you're on into the dark void ahead.
Real quick, does ghost sight help me at all? The fact that I can see through magical darkness.
So it helps a little bit. It seems to push away a bit of the darkness at the edge of your periphery to aid a little bit in what you can see. But after all of that, it just turns to black. So really, you're at the mercy of however far ahead you move.
Of course. Fucking. Hey, the guy who's been the character who complains about fate all the time. Let's give him one path out of here. All right.
You hear...
Keltry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
And Keltry like just sits up, like stands up, brushes himself off, and like just muttering to himself, "Still in kind of the fucking wind. You didn't. We're all still alive. I think." He checked for a pulse.
You hear a laughter, a disembodied, low laughter. Very familiar, of course, but it's coming from all around you.
Yep.
And you can continue. What are you trying to do?
I mean, Keltry is just waiting for his pulse. He's a Shatterkai, so he knows it like takes like 30 seconds for him to feel a beat.
Yep. And of course, you check for your pulse, but as you're doing so, it is becoming increasingly concerning that you're not feeling your heartbeat. And that's when you hear, "You should not exist. You know this. You died. You
And
died."
So but you're
Keltry.
still fucking here.
And here you stand too. Half child, half shadow.
As opposed to you, who's just a full child.
They pretend not to notice you. They pretend you're whole, but I see it. You're hollow.
Keltry starts walking and says, "You sure you don't have anything better to do? I'm just gonna bitch at you for the entire time you speak."
What are you doing at this point?
He's just like carefully moving across the one-way track that's been laid down in front of him.
Give me a quick acrobatics. It's pretty narrow.
13.
Okay, that's good enough. It takes a little bit of effort, but you're walking across carefully. After a few minutes of doing so, the path does widen slightly and then gradually, and then it turns into a full-fledged walkable path that you don't have to worry about falling over, at least if you're careful.
Okay. Yeah, he's being careful. It's the dreamscape. Last time he was here, there was fucky shit.
Yep. You hear again as you continue your path forward. Says, "Let me make you whole again. Let me finish what your mother began."
Point of order. Just because I was double checking my backstory the other day, Dad was the one who did the thing.
Dad was the one who did the thing.
Yeah, the ritual, whatever you want to call it.
Dad ended up going bye-byes. Yep.
Yep.
Mother saved you. You're not sure still how she saved you.
Yeah. All right. Keltry just goes, "Nah, I'm good. I don't trust whatever you want to fill me with. Could be molten lead for all I know.
They call me a tyrant, but
You are.
I am your liberation. No more chains, no more gods, no more lies. You've already walked in shadow. Why not wield it?
How do you know I don't?
He doesn't respond to that. He is going to just simply stay quiet for the next part of your journey, which is to say that, well, there's a flickering almost in the darkness surrounding you. It's like the smoke of it all is kind of taking shape. And you see on your left, as you're walking forward, this smoky pictorial vision of a body laying on a slab of stone, and a smoky figure kind of enters the scene. There's one that's already standing off to the left, just beyond where this body is laying, and you see one figure take what looks like maybe a dagger or some kind of sharp object, and start to incise into himself. And then the second figure comes in and starts, it looks like she's saying something to this other person. And then there appears to be a moment where the father, or at least what you presume to be the male figure there, you're kind of getting a glimpse into what you believe to probably be the moment where your life was turned around.
Eltry's stomach starts churning in a way that it hasn't since he saw Lareth's experiments.
So you see the larger male figure drain some kind of, it's really strange. I wish I could describe to you how I'm envisioning this, but think of like a mural that moves, that is formed entirely by like wisps of darkness and smoke.
That's actually a really good. That's actually a really good description.
Yep.
I always said Call of Cthulhu, yeah.
So the male figure drips pure darkness, what you perceive it to be anyways, into a cup or a vessel. And they end up feeding it to the body on the slab. And
Question.
Yep.
How old does the body look?
You figure probably, let's see, what were you, teenager?
10.
10, okay. Yeah, fairly young, hasn't fully sprouted into their height yet. Not very broad. Yeah, you would guess probably around that age.
Mm-hmm.
And you're hearing Vagos continue. He says, "Take a good look. Your new beginning. You were there and here when it happened. Your fate was rewritten that day. you can thank your mother for that. It's now apparent to you that she didn't just bring you back to life. If he is telling you the truth, she rewrote your fate.
There's a smile on Keltry's face.
You see the smaller female figure start to do some somatic components over the body and raises her arms up in the air. You see the body start to convulse, and there's a moment where you see this pure darkness bleeding upward out from the body into the air. And you see the darkness take shape briefly into what appears to be a knife. And it bursts out and strikes the male figure. And you see the female figure rush to him. And the scene ends. If this is true, you killed your dad. Or is it true?
The smile faded after Keltry, like after the knife from appeared. Keltry is shedding manly tears. As a few moments after the scene ends, he keeps walking.
And a thought kind of crosses your mind as you keep walking. This, like you said, the scene ends and there's nothing but forward for you at this point. So you're going forward.
Yeah.
And there's one thought that does cross your mind.
Can I say what that thought is?
Go ahead.
This changes nothing. It's still his fault.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. There's a moment where you almost feel as though maybe there's like a little bit of a justification behind what your mother did in as far as like keeping you in the dark as to why she did it. Or at least there was something profound that happened that she didn't want you to feel guilty for.
I think just the idea that his like there's still a lot of complicated feelings there, but the fact that fate was rewritten for him finally eases the weight on his shoulder that has been there since he saw his mother again.
And I think,
Again.
yeah, and I think Keltry would use that to keep going forward.
Yeah.
Resolution.
That and just that's how he gains the resilient charisma feat. It's just this change. The only thing this changes is I'm earnestly going to have that talk with Miley now. Vegas is still going to die, and I'm going to make sure of it. And just that force of will, that resolve in him, gives him that proficiency in charisma saves.
Okay, here we go. You're trudging forward along this path that you've decided is your only one. But something strange occurs. As you're walking forward, your sight allows you to see probably like 30 feet ahead of you before your vision just fades. But it seems that the pathway you're walking on is forming itself. It's drawing bits and pieces of what appears to be like this sort of silvery substance, and it's weaving it as a pathway in front of you as you walk forward.
Keltruth got his grin back. He looks at it. And just curiously walks forward, and as it forms, he thinks about it curving just so slightly to the left.
Okay. Willing it to do so, it does. And it shoots out forward from you probably about 20 to 30 feet. And then you see a kind of a break in the darkness. It connects with a previously unseen portion of this pathway. And as soon as the darkness fades, well, at least a portion of it, you see a massive platform composed of this silvery energy or whatever, and it's interconnected with what you perceive at this moment to be dozens of pathways. And you
after all.
Yeah. You step forward, and you're not sure if it's a flicker or kind of a trick in your vision. Maybe you're going crazy, but you think up ahead you see just the briefest glimpse of some kind of spectral figure waiting for you at the end of your path.
And seems like it's a platform, right?
Oh yeah, I would say easily 200 feet radius.
Radius. Oh fuck. Okay,
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Yeah.
All right. I'd like to go in the direct middle of it, or because dark. Oh wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because ghost size is 120 feet. I'm just gonna get within 120 feet of the guy, or the thing.
Okay. As you get close, you're starting to notice some features of this figure that stand out and that you actually know very well, in fact. You see a man, somewhat tall, with white flowing robes. And he has a sort of a mask that he covers his face with that's kind of composed of white wrappings. And he has glowing eyes.
Mm.
And you immediately recognize him as Azris. But he doesn't look the same. He looks like maybe a younger self. Because you notice that his robes are a little bit different. They're not as full as they were when you first met him. They're a bit more like almost if he was considered maybe an initiate in the Keswick. So he didn't have all these crazy adornments. He also looks a little bit less broad than he did when he was resurrected. And he waves at you and kind of motions for you to come closer.
Yep. Patrick just goes, mind meet me halfway?
He seems to disappear out of view for a brief moment before reappearing next to you, standing in front of you a few feet. And he says, "Apologies. I forgot that you aren't like me. You're alone. We need to wait for the others before we can proceed. We must forge our paths together."
Oh, of course. That's what we've always done, hasn't it?
He just kind of looks at you, squints a little bit. He says, "I mean literally, we have to stick together. We can't wander in this place."
No, okay, fair.
Anyways, let's move on to... You know what? Let's do Sid.
Hell yeah, Sid.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not into metal men.
Yeah, sorry, Sid. You've been subjected. So you awaken on a similar platform to the one that you were in previous during the battle with Vegas. You recognize it because it's so interwoven. All the threads of the platform are really tight, and there appears to be a lot of them, and they just form this really dense circular platform that you're standing on. And you remember awakening on this spot and leaning up and seeing those 12 figures kind of in the darkness, trying to get your attention, trying to maybe even tell you to leave or get out. And you don't see them, and you're definitely alone.
Okay.
What do you do?
Well, I quickly just look at my hands.
What are you looking for specifically?
They're just seeing if I'm either my robot self or stuck in my dreamscape form.
You look at your hands, and there appears to be a discrepancy with both of them. One appears male, the other female.
Yep, seeing that, Sid just says to himself, "Well, I'm in the dreamscape. I hope the others are safe."
As you say that out loud, your voice is twofold. One lower octave, one higher.
I'm not gonna get used to that.
So you pick yourself up. You notice that you're not in your your Warforged body, so that could be a problem if something happens, but you're hoping that does not.
Yep.
What do? You do notice that there is a sort of a narrowing of one side of the platform that you're on.
Yeah, I'll go down that way.
Okay. Same deal with you. There's, because your feet aren't so heavy anymore, as a Warforged, you just feel lighter and you're able to move a little bit more quickly, but it almost feels like you are being pulled in a direction that isn't your own, but is at the same time. You're putting one foot in front of the other, but you don't feel as though you're the one actually doing that. It's almost like you're spectating it.
Am I able to feel which side of me is doing the pulling?
You can't really tell. You're going forward as if you normally would. You got ambition. You got that from both of the souls inside you. But you're not sure if here you are actually who you are. You might just be two souls so closely intertwined that they might as well be the same.
Got it.
Hence twin flames.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So moving forward, this pathway, as I mentioned with Keltry, kind of just starts to form in front of you. And you're wondering why that is, and you can't make heads or tails of it. But continuing forward, you end up reaching a path that forms and connects with the one you're on.
Mm-hmm.
And there's two ways. There's left and right. You can't really see too far down the direction of either.
Mm-hmm.
But you do hear a voice. As soon as you reach this this sort of, junction, we'll call it. And it says, let's see here. Where did I put it? Let me see here. All right, got it. So, which direction would you like to take?
Oh, I thought the voice was going to say something first.
No, he will, but which one would you like to take?
Hmm. Am I getting a strong pull down either, or is it just...
We could say that you can roll an insight.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, while we're in the basically our dreamscape form, do we still have the effects of exhaustion on us?
No.
Okay,
That's only a body thing, I feel.
got it. I just wanted to make sure whether or not I roll with disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
27.
There is a very strong will pulling you in the left direction.
I'll follow the left.
So, as you make your choice, you hear, "Do you feel it now? The weight of identity? How your allies talk of souls while you stare into silence. You were made to obey. I offer you more, though. I offer you truth. You were forged for a higher purpose, Sid. Not as a machine, but as a memory that never dies. The memory of Amamad, your home. Let me write my will upon your frame. Let me make you immortal."
And what? Just be used more as a tool by you than I was before? Just by living now, I still hold the memory of Amamad.
What looks like just a window. A small little rectangular window. Like a glimpse into...
The figures I see...
Mm-hmm. This is the moment. Mm-hmm.
Oof. Yeah, that's
Whoa.
low.
Starts to crush you. Starts to crush you. As Vagos... All right. You get up and press forward.
Well, I guess I'll keep walking, just keeping my ears out.
They start up again.
Yeah, it's okay.
Got it now?
There's still nothing playing in Fantasy Plus.
You might have to reload. Okay. Okay. I'll turn it up a little bit.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I hear that 100% now.
Okay. And no one's there. And no one's there.
Yeah, I would just say, I'm Sid. Sid Toyer.
Similar.
I think I forgot her name. Dang it.
You got it. Crap. No, I don't.
Making little quips for like the last 30 minutes.
Great job.
Got
Yeah.
get quipped on. Also, side note, Jackbox Party Pack 6 is Steam Deck compatible now.
Dang it.
I don't.
Forgot.
Every time you guys say "woo," it makes me think of Twitch. Kelly only ever lied about cancer once. Woo!
Crap.
It's-
I'm looking. Where
I
is it?
got her daughter's name.
Yep. Yeah, we got that at the old route of security there.
Yep.
I'm looking. I'm looking.
Just so everybody is aware, usually the DM of this game, keeps really extensive notes. So this is in fact an oddity that O'Nane isn't ready.
I think we just forgot to get her name before.
Also, to anybody else wondering where this voice is coming from, this is from Match, the player of Keel.
Like, what happened to G?
This sounds like
You-
this sounds like in Fantasy High the this has been a use of the
identify spell.
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I'm glad somebody
Honestly-
found out what the inspiration for this voice was. Thank you.
Oh,
This
now I
is
gotta
like
fi-
the identify spell.
There we go.
Wasn't it like Melandra? I can't remember.
Let's just say it's Melange, please.
Melange.
Mamma mia.
No, we're not gonna do that. I'll find it, but we'll just say Leora's sister.
Okay. Says what you say. Perchance are you Leora's sister?
How do you know that name?
I say Sid kind of holds up his hand. I holds up his other hand. Can you see that?
Yes.
Sorry to say this, but you're dead and you're a part of me.
Who's dead? You hear a voice in your left ear.
And that would be Roland.
Who are you? Where are we?
You. Oh. And I bet you already know where we are.
It's cold. Where? It's dark.
I kind of hold up the hand again in front of the eyes.
Oh,
Familiar?
there you are. So you start walking forward again. This seems to be a combination of both of them.
Yep, Sid's probably telling them that they are dead. But probably still being a little iffy with Roland since Sid
Yeah.
knows about his background.
He's like, that doesn't feel dead.
Due to some experience in that mod, you two came together to make me.
And what are we?
Well, together we're Sid, fighting force against your former master.
And who's that? Now you're starting to get the inkling that during
That he
this
doesn't
whole
remember.
during this whole process, something might have happened to his memory, or maybe his whole thread of fate got fucked up.
Yeah, just a very evil guy. But I can at least tell you both that some of your family members are out there.
You trudge forward, again with sort of all three of you in agreement that you're accepting now of the situation. You're getting the sense also that they're easing up on this whole scenario too. It seems like maybe you're starting to become a bit more one with who you are, or rather I should say what you are made to be. And that's technically two people, so.
Yeah, it's probably going down the way telling Leora's sister about her daughter, how she's doing, and telling Roland of his family he heard about up north. And the fate of, I think it was his sister in the lighthouse? Or was that a cousin?
That was his sister. Lover. No. Sister.
Yeah, his sister in the lighthouse. But that she is now at peace.
He says, I didn't even know I had a sister. And you say she's here.
Hopefully she is, and at peace. I think some of your guys' memories are somewhat gone, maybe.
Well, that makes sense, I guess. She, the woman, says, so, if we're not dead, and we're also not alive, and we're here, what does that mean for us?
I don't really know. The way we got here was a weird way. How I'm talking to you guys now is kind of odd.
I remember you... I don't know how or why I do. I remember a woman with dark skin, silver hair. And then at the same time, the woman, she says, oh, yes, I remember her. She's very pretty. Its name starts with a Z, A. And then there was that really strange one. What was her name? The one who can't stay the same all the time.
You mean Keel?
Yes, that sounds familiar.
I think as I live, you guys also remember what I see.
And, well, I wish... Do you have any inspiration points right now?
No, I gotta say at least sorry for that.
Because if you don't have any inspiration points, take one, because that is... actually, all of you so far can take one, because this has been really good. With what you just said... I'm just going to give it to you. That's exactly what's going on, is that all of you are kind of sharing each other's experiences, and also you're having to contend with the fact that they don't remember a lot of their lives. So it's like their lives ended when yours began, but their memories came with you and started getting interwoven in with yours, and now finally... It's as if you've created this shared life all together, and you're all collectively remembering these party members that you're with.
Yep, like a whole big soul cluster.
And you continue forward, and you feel your hand, the right hand, the woman's hand. She kind of lights a fire in your hand and holds it out just to see if it does anything with the darkness around, and it doesn't, unfortunately. She says, blast it. And you hear the male say, have you tried calling out?
No, I did not. And so Sid would try calling out for his group.
Okay. You yell as loud as you can. I don't know how that would work for a Warforged. I guess you just kind of project it as you normally would your own voice. And
It's like a speaker got a knob. You just turned it up loud.
turn it on and rip the knob off.
Yep.
Turn it up to 11. Get that back to the future speaker moment.
Oh yeah.
You call out. You call out, and it's just as if you're talking really loudly. It doesn't sound like your voice echoes at all.
Well, guess we just gotta keep walking and hope we see them.
As your path continues to weave itself in front of you, you raise both of your hands sort of involuntarily, and you start to channel more of that inner fire, and you just kind of like launch it forward just to see if it like breaks through the darkness at all. And believe it or not, there's a small break in the darkness up ahead, and some wisps of darkness disperse, and the pathway in front of you begins to weave itself into a very large platform.
Sid says, nice. Good going.
Yeah, just winging it, really. And you hear the woman in your right ear just say, I thought I told you not to wing things. You remember what happened last time? And it is now that you get this flood of, I wouldn't call it a memory, more like a realization and a feeling that comes from deep within. You remember back, you kind of have this moment that flashes in your head where you're sitting in a tavern and you take a drink of something very hot. And do you remember I had you roll a percentile for that?
I believe so. It was way back.
That percentile was kind of determinate as to what portion of you was going to be amplified.
Oh.
And so at this point, you're kind of getting the sense that maybe Roland had a hand in you having that moment in the alternate plane of ice there. That, well, maybe he gave you a little push into realizing what you are. And he says, look, I didn't mean to attempt to burn down their village. She just happened to be in a wooden tavern.
And drinking technically something made from the plane of fire.
Yes. Yeah, we studied it extensively. Supposedly, the origins of the eternal flame itself. We can't quite prove that, obviously, because we're dead, but if only we were still alive, the possibilities.
Well, you're still within me. As I have a chance to figure out more about this all.
Look ahead. Is that one of your companions? And you look,
look.
and sure enough, yeah, there up ahead there's Keltree, but he's talking to something that you don't see.
Did I say? Oh, kill tree.
Keltree.
Saying that out loud in my two voices.
Yep, Keltree, you hear two voices simultaneously yell out and call your name from behind you.
Do they seem familiar at all?
No.
Well, technically, he did hear them once. In the last time we were in the Dreamscape.
All right, you had your the voice that kind of came out through you. Okay.
Yep. The four-way, we finally figure out what the two souls kind of look like.
Then I would
think-
say yes, that they do sound
Okay.
familiar.
After several long seconds of processing, Kelchi goes, "We've been trying to reach you on the extended warranty of your Warforged body."
Nope. Like I say, this walk, kind of a little soul journey, as probably introduce you to. He kind of uses one hand to point to his male side, Roland, and then the female side, which I don't remember the name, and just say Leo's sister, and wait
So-
for them to speak.
So you do kind of see I guess it would, a figure that takes on the features of both a man and a woman. Yes.
But said introduce the two souls so they can now speak to Killtree.
One side of the mouth kind of speaks, "Hey," and the other one's like, "You can manage a little bit better than that. Hello."
Suddenly I feel a lot better about my half ghost thing. Nice to meet
Really?
you too.
So we just say, well, enough. We had a great conversation as we were getting here.
And as he says
Weird,
that,
though.
both of them are speaking at the same time, and it's really friggin' weird. It's almost like they're very hard to discern who's actually speaking.
This is weird. This is weird, but I think I'll have to accept it. It's strange. This is strange. I feel like I suddenly want to make a mask for you. I do not know why.
But with that, who's your friend here? And
Oh,
she kind of looks at them and say, is that Kill's true form?
No, this is I think young Azareth.
So you see this very vague, almost ghostly form turn and look at you, and sure enough, yeah, there's a lot of similar features. He's got the glowing eyes, a little bit less built, and the clothing
Younger.
is not quite the same, but it's very similar. Yes.
Oh, you look a lot younger. And also, how does Roland's side kind of feel at this point?
Roland is maybe a little angry.
Got it. I'll keep note of that.
And he just says, "Our journey is not complete. Whatever your two beings might think of me in this moment, we need to put that aside. Once we all gather, and I'm confident that we will, we just need to wait for the others. We must press forward.
Yep.
It is
Said not.
It is crucial." And now we're gonna switch.
Drum roll. Da, 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 da.
Let's go. Let's go with Zara.
Ooh.
Funny enough, this is the one I wanted to hear.
I have a feeling I'm going last.
What about game?
No, Jane's next after Zara. I'm going last.
Okay, now I want to kill.
Fair.
I think you should actually just switch to Keel right now after Matt said that.
Do what? I mean, I'm kind of. There's really no set way that we have to go. If anyone wants to give up their position for another, that's fine.
No, make Zara go.
Yeah, Zara.
She's got to confront her trauma. It's been 100 years.
Yeah, I'll kick everyone out and just leave Tristan here.
Oh my god.
Listen.
Go get them in their brilliance. Me out of luminance.
All right. So then we're gonna start it off with some lovely. Zara, your eyes are closed, almost like you're sleeping. You hear a set of screams that grow in number, and they become so intense and loud that it almost seems like they're right next to you, screaming into your ear, and you wake up. And you're surrounded by darkness, and the only light that is here seems to be emanating off of you. It's dull.
It broke off. It just said emanating off what?
Off of you.
Oh.
And it's a little dull, but it is allowing you to see that you are alone amidst this vast nothingness.
Am I still hearing screams, or did they stop once I woke up?
They stopped. At this point, you're just hearing soft whispers all around you. And yeah, go ahead.
I was I suppose I would just sit up and look around and try. I obviously don't have any weapons on me, right? I feel like I would look for weapons first because I don't think I would realize where I was.
You reach for your bow. It's not there. You even reach for a dagger or your arrows or anything in between, and you are wearing seemingly plain clothes. And I just wanted to say this last part.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Your clothes look oddly familiar. Old, though. From the past.
Like something I would have wore back when I lived at the village.
Yes. Just kind of modest, but comfortable and within, your cultural themes at the time, which is to say, you had an overshirt with, you could potentially have maybe some kind of a apron or a dress, kind of I can't remember what they're called, but nothing too unfamiliar.
She was a hunter, so she probably would have trousers on, but it'd be very peasant trousers.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have a whole lot of money. They were kind of poor.
Yep. And as you're peering around on your body, looking at your clothes, you just feel your own blood just drain from your face because these are clothes you haven't worn since that day. You happen to even spot a few specks of blood on your trousers. And go ahead. Sorry.
It's dark. I can't see anything.
No, not even dark vision will help you here.
What if I cast dancing lights? Can I access that?
You may try. Casting 4 points. All right, so where do you want to send them?
Just, I guess. How far does it go? 60 feet? I just try to spread
120
them
feet.
or 120 feet. I think I would try. One second. Just, I want them just kind of spread evenly out a distance, just to see if I can see anything.
So they shoot out in the directions that you will them, and they go the distance. You keep them right about where you can, and you see the lights get snuffed out by the black around you. It's almost like it absorbs it.
But I'm able to emit light.
Yes, you can. A little bit.
Huh.
Yes, you can. And you notice that there is a narrow path that is just barely starting to take shape, leading away from your little platform.
I suppose I would take the path if it's the only thing I can see.
Okay. And as you press forward, you're doing so cautiously. Your path is pretty strong. There's nothing too treacherous about it, though it is narrow still. And when you continue pressing forward, you travel for what seems like hours, and you're just following the same path. And it's now getting to the point where you feel like you should have reached some kind of a destination at this point. But what do you do at this moment?
Maybe. Are there still whispers or anything around me?
Yeah, they're soft, kind of all around you.
I think I would stop what I'm doing, close my eyes, and just try to focus on the whispers or try to focus on anything around me that could help.
Okay. Roll me a wisdom check. You could be perception as well. Sorry.
Perception. Also, my passive perception is 23. So
Okay.
if that's...
All right. Perfect. Then you hear amidst the whispers a very faint voice that you can pick out amidst the collection, so to speak. And it sounds like a female's voice. And it's saying, "Don't stray from your path, Zara."
Do I recognize the voice?
Yeah. Yeah, sounds like your mother.
Mother?
And amidst all of it, even with the continued passive perception of 23, it doesn't seem like she responds.
Well, if my mom tells me not to stray from the path, I keep going.
All right. So you continue forward, and there's this pervading sense that you're being watched. You've kind of had this feeling your whole life where you've constantly been on edge because, well, you've had a tough life. Your parents were slaughtered, your entire village was slaughtered, and then re-slaughtered. And since then, you've never really had a place or something that you could call home or family. And now that it's all being torn away, it seems as if you're alone again. And there is a... oops. I don't know why I did that. Okay. You keep going forward, and there's something happening to your right. You look and you see this smoke start to take the shape of a woman, it seems. Seems to be walking alongside you, or at least close by, in the same direction you're going. Slowly, nonchalant. You see another figure enter and walk with her. It seems to be maybe saying hello, or getting close enough to have a conversation with her. And it's at this moment that you hear kind of this... It's not coming from around you, but rather within your head. You hear as you see an arrow fly in and strike the man, bringing him down in an instant, and then you see a group of figures enter and rip this woman away in an instant. And you're now just kind of... your mind is skipping at this point, going back to that day. You're getting flashes in your head of seeing everything unfold, hiding as you did. And that's when you hear Vagos. Almost as if he's in your mind too. And he says, "You cling to hatred like it gives you shape. But hatred is a hunger that forgets the taste of peace. You want justice, and you think vengeance will be enough. But I can give you something far sweeter. Victory. Raise the dead. Rewrite your past. Let the hunters become the hunted. Join me." Sorry?
The only victory that I'm interested in is my arrow through your heart.
Your last chance to join me, Zarafine, is now. If you do, your family's screams will be the last sound you hear.
Wait, if I do join him or if I don't?
Sorry, I said that wrong. If you don't. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to like double check. I'm like, that's not really a ringing endorsement.
No, sorry. And it's also at this point where there's this kind of voice that's close by again. You hear it amidst the whispers. It says, "Don't you dare listen to him."
You say that as if the screams aren't always with me, Vagos. I do not care, because at least they will be with me.
Such foolishness. You think your luminance will save you, but it will not. You will become lost here forever, like so many others.
It's better than becoming a sellout and joining you.
Oh, you will join me sooner or later.
I will die before I let that happen.
He could potentially mean just that. That you're going to die and join him anyways.
Yeah, you know what? Don't care. Halfway there. Let's go.
And as you kind of walk away from all this, you hear again a whispering. Same voice, definitely your mother, now that you're kind of getting praise from her. She says, "That's my girl. Onward. Don't stop. Find the others."
I guess I keep walking.
As you do, you your path winds pretty widely to the left, and it's the first indication of any change in course ever since you set foot on this path. And as you round it and travel several hundred feet, you presume, you look forward, and breaking through the darkness is someone walking towards you. They're a bit wispy, smoky, but you notice immediately that it is the visage of your father, but not as he currently is, how he was. And he stops in the middle of your path and awaits you.
Yeah, I guess I keep walk. I meet him in the path.
You see, I wish I could kind of, well, maybe I'll describe it. So he seems to be kind of standing on the same path that you are, but the strands that make up your path seem to almost kind of be forming him too.
The strands that make up the path?
Yeah, like they're kind of rooted into his feet.
Oh,
almost,
like
yeah.
a tree?
Kind of, yeah. They're like licking him. They're like.
Yep.
So that's when you see a not so sunken face, but rather a gentle one. He reaches his hand up and he like strokes your cheek, and he says, "Sorry we had to meet on these terms, my dear."
I thought that he was somewhere, like he was out of Vagos's control or whatever.
Yes.
And you can't.
So, I can't tell you specifically why yet, but you do remember me saying that with the help of Lord Eros, they enacted some kind of rite or ritual to break him from Vagos's control. Yes.
So would I, Zarfine, think that this is actually my father?
You would think that if this is your father, then this is probably some kind of visage from his past. This could be a past form of himself trying to guide you, or this could be maybe an ideal future for your father that you're talking to that just never came to be. But you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that he certainly is dead, and that his current body is him, but he's twisted in some way.
Right.
So what this is, I'll allow you to come to your own conclusion on that.
I just, as a player, I still am not completely sure how the dreamscape works, and so I get very confused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the dreamscape is essentially the past, present, future of every single soul to ever exist, and it's all intertwined with each other.
Okay. All right. So, cool. He said, sorry that we had to come to see each other this way, something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Father, I'm so sorry that I couldn't save you.
Oh, my dear, no one could have. You were much too young anyways. What could you have done?
I've tried to do it, and yet it seems every single step that I take, I'm 10 steps backwards.
You've let your light guide you this whole way. You cannot stop now.
I will save you. I failed then, but I will do it now. I will help you.
You... you have your mother's angst. But you cannot help me. Not anymore. At least not how I currently am.
She reaches up to put her hand over the shadow's hand that's on her face and kind of tries to nuzzle closer.
She says, or he says, I miss your warmth. And he says, now go. I am only here because I want to deliver a message.
I'm listening.
Your light will guide the way. And that's when you just see him disperse. His hand still on your cheek, your hand clutching his. He just goes away.
She clutches at the air for a moment as if trying to keep him there longer, and then just lets out a shuddering breath and goes, okay, time to continue. And I keep walking.
You from that moment forward, you actually feel that inner light. It's trying to get out of you. The light around you is starting to glow a little bit brighter, and it's actually dispersing some of the darkness. And the path that you're walking on is forming a lot quicker. And there is a point in your path as you're walking forward where you kind of get these eyes on you. And Vagos once more chimes in. And he says, the fool, believing so much in a daughter that's done nothing but fail him. And, go ahead, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Go.
I may have failed him once, but I will never fail him again. I will tear you down.
And I don't know if anyone's getting all these things, but you're all kind of in situations where you could potentially be tempted by Vagos to. Yep. So
I think you got it.
Yep, you're getting there. And so I think at this point your light kind of flashes and removes a lot of the darkness that's now in front of you, and it reveals a large platform. A large silvery platform with two of your friends awaiting there.
All of a sudden, they're just like, damn, what is that light?
Yep. You guys see breaking through the darkness from one other path off to the side is the one and only Zarafine, lighting up the way.
Oh, says out loud. Oh, I think I know who that is.
Good. She made it.
Keltree just like he's grinning and like snickering a little bit.
Okay.
Hi. As I'm like approaching them, I just want to be like, did Chuckles try to tempt you too?
Yep.
Oh
You probably
yeah,
hear yep 3 times.
he's horrible at it. Also, I don't mean to mess with your vibe, but just you look like an angel ascending from hell.
Agreed.
Um,
That's
At-
the best compliment I've ever received.
so Zara, you
Oh.
happen to look at the figure
Welcome.
that they're standing with, and it's Azarus, but different. And at this moment, he says, "Vegas is not a god, not yet. He's just hunger, dressed as a god, and he lives here now, for now, within this tangle, just feeding. He whispers futures, but remember, he lies. He will always lie in his truths."
Mm-hmm.
So
Let's just hope that Jane and Keel fare as well as we did.
I have my faith in them.
Jane,
Yeah.
you awaken with this massive headache for such a small head. And are you taking any are you doing anything as far as like your form goes? You just stay in a fairy.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you doing anything magical?
Oh shit. Hold up. 1 second.
And yeah, John is not here. John be dead. John's deaded again.
I'm going to find a new body.
He's
second.
pulling. Oh, time to go back to that mod.
Funny
You gotta
is-
go scrape him off the floor. Yeah, my cat keeps messing with my computer.
Elle, is your guys' thing like shadows?
Yeah, Keltree's I think was like what the inward shadow.
Inner shadow.
Inward.
We're like yin and yang.
Yay!
Yeah, he's in there. You're outward.
Dare I say twin souls?
With our twin, with our
Yo, we're twinning.
with
You're
our
like
best
yin-
friend Kate Cloaks.
You're yin and yang.
It's been 90
Actually.
years since I've had a sister.
Oh wait, shit! Actually, you guys are like yin and yang perfectly.
Uh huh.
Yeah. In fact,
So, do you want to be the best man at my wedding?
Hell yeah, let's go.
are you good, John? Or Jane?
I think what I would do first is like try and just figure out what's causing the headache and where I am.
So the headache seems to be you're kind of in a daze, as if you just got concussed in some very profound way, and you're just shaking it off.
I am dying, so that's
So when you awaken into a completely black space. The only luminance that you're able to perceive is from yourself. And it's not profound in any way. It's just kind of a little, you're Feywild. You got a little bit of sparkliness to you.
of course.
And around you is a cacophony of whispers. What's your passive perception?
Passive perception? 18.
Okay. Amidst everything going on, there is a noticeable whisper that you can make out amidst the rest. There's kind of it sounds familiar, not too unlike one of your friends back in the Feywild where you lived. And you hear them say something to the effect of, "Come on, nobody knows about it. Let's go get it." You see a weird coalescence of shadow ahead of you that appears just at the edge of this platform that you're lying on. And it doesn't look familiar. It just looks humanoid. And it's standing there, not quite corporeal. It just seems like it's a vague outline. And it's waving, not at you, but it's telling you to come closer.
Right before I went out and all this happened, I got I was in another thing, right, and I couldn't fly, and I was falling, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think I would try and fly over there, see if I can still fly.
Okay. Your wings do work. You lift yourself up. It's a little tiring at first, but as you make your way over, it just feels a little sluggish. You're not moving as quickly as you normally do. And when you do, there's another voice that you can hear amidst the whispers that says, "Jane! Jane, where'd you go? Jane! Jane!"
I'm right here.
You're saying that out loud. You don't know where the words are coming from. You just know that the person that's speaking them seems to be either upset or distressed. And it's at this point that you remember a similar arrival in Phalorian, where you just kind of were with your friends and you stumbled upon a strange archway in a mountainside. It had these, you catch glimpses of runes that adorn the structure of it, and you remember your friend flying over to them and kind of whacking it with a stick, and then that didn't work, so she goes and grabs a pebble and starts throwing rocks at it. And there's one point where she sneezes and some kind of strange, almost pixie dust comes flying out, and it hits one of the sigils on the archway, and the thing roars to life. And you feel this immense tug, and you just get sucked into this void. And when you wake up, it's like you got this massive headache. And then you were in Phalorian. And the gate had shut behind you. At this point, you hear a voice. Once you get closer to the figure, it disperses and disappears. And this voice says, "The Feywild sings your name, but it cannot find you, nor it. You are a song with no refrain. I ask that you transcend this nonsense of the realms. What is the Feywild but another cage? Here in my dream, your roots could stretch across the stars. You could become something new. Something not bound to the seasons, but to eternity. Your future is with me, Jane. Do you accept it?
Bound to eternity sounds quite lonely.
As you say that, there is a wisp of silvery strand that starts to form a path in front of you, away. Flying now seems to work, at least beyond this platform that you're on.
I shall fly through the path.
Okay. Oh, by the way, this is kind of what it looks like.
Oh.
That's pretty
Yo.
cool.
Kind of reminds me of the, you know, like the, it's not Spider-Man, Venom, I think is what it is. That like black stuff.
Oh,
ichor.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like
the symbiote.
Yeah, the symbiote. Yeah.
Bro, Keltrion Venom and Symbiote would be fucking sick.
Nah, see, I want the anti-venom.
So,
Honestly, you would do good with anti-venom. Bless you.
sorry. So, you're pressing forward, flying, and as the darkness is dispersing and you're following your path, you are catching light flashes of a different scene. You kind of see yourself dancing around with your Fey friends, and you're kind of holding hands in tandem. You're having fun. Everyone's, hooting and hollering and dancing to some discordant music. But then all of a sudden you start to see the faces of your friends go blank. And you suddenly forget their names and even what they were wearing yesterday. And you look down and you see that roots have started to grow from your feet, tethering you to the ground. And you feel yourself start to wilt. And you see a fairy woman appear in front of you, flying. And you hear her this looks like your mother, actually. She says, "The Fae do not mourn. Why do you?" And then suddenly you see your entire home in flames. And it's burning with this purple-hued flame. And then you kind of clutch your head in pain again, because this probably was some kind of psychic transference that you've had before. You're not sure if that actually happened, if it was a fabrication of a memory, or if Vagos literally is burning your fucking shit to the ground right now.
Lovely.
And so as you keep going, you just hear him speaking off in the periphery every once in a while. He says, that pain. That is not you becoming lost. You just are becoming. And you're pressing forward, and eventually you reach what appears to be a cliff. Like your path just stops and then kind of forms a slight barrier between your path and just pure darkness of a void, that is, I should say.
Okay.
And you hear footsteps behind you. And you turn to see John standing there. You see that he is standing in such a way that would suggest he almost is like being puppeteered. Like his shoulders are a little bit up and his feet, the back of his heels are a little suspended above the ground. And he starts to kind of float his way towards you. And you hear a voice, a deep one, that says, "Even he is now mine. Do you like what I've done?" He starts to like puppeteer him so that he like shakes a little bit and his arms flail as he gets closer to you, pushing you back towards the cliff. Even though you can fly, it still is not entirely comfortable to see your companion in such a way.
Does this look like one of like the strand, like it's like made of the strands of like shadow or whatever?
It does, yes. You can see kind of at his feet that the strands are touching him.
Is there any way for me to tell if it's like actually John or if it's just a like illusion type of deal?
Not that you would know just by looking, but you can use an arcana.
Like Arcana.
Yeah, you will. Okay. Don't worry, Keel, we're gonna keep going until you're done. Alright. It would appear that sorry, excuse me. It would appear that this is probably not John. He's just, not only is he not moving in the way that he normally would when you'd be in control, he seems to be a little bit more tattered and beat up and kind of just not as maintained as you kept him.
In the sad imitation, I maintain my companions much more thoroughly.
He says, "Imitation is a game we both know. You've used him before in your persona." And as he gets closer... Sorry, go ahead.
I use it as a means of protection, while you use it as a means to lure others. We are not the same.
But we are, Jane. We both achieve our goals through any means necessary to what we are capable of.
I would never stoop to your level.
But you already have, haven't you? And it's just, at this point, you can see, like, in John's eyes, they're just black and devoid. And, you're now kind of, I mean, you're thinking, I mean, shit, you are kind of using necromancy here. You can't be too far removed from Vagos. But that's obviously not the case because you're nothing like him as far as personality goes.
I'm not a prick about it.
Yeah. So, he simply laughs, and you see the puppeteer act end. John just drops to the ground, limp. And what's interesting is he actually kind of explodes a little bit, as if to suggest he dropped from several 100 feet up.
Huh. Yeah. That was my bad.
And that's when Vagos says, "You so easily cast them aside, too, don't you?"
I can always reclaim it. I know his soul isn't in there, but he needs a place to return.
But it won't be John, will it? It'll just be another soul caught in your web of intrigue, just like me. One unwilling soul to power your ambition.
At least I don't torture mine.
And then it kind of a realization hits you. Is being dead torture?
No way to know. I'm not dead yet.
Not yet. Anyways, so the thing drops, you turn around and you notice that your path continues. Something has formed in its place. There's no longer a cliff, but a narrow path. And it opens up into a large, very large platform. And ahead you see your companions, except for Keel. You all see a dispersion of shadow behind you, and a path, a new one, has formed at the epicenter.
I'll wave.
Jane
Way
flies
back.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That Phagos is very rude.
Yep.
We've been having to deal with him for about a year now. Well,
One left.
Yep.
Can see why you're fed up.
And
Yeah. I'm glad you're here to help kill him with us. Should be fun.
So am I.
Keel.
I'm worried about Keel.
Let me switch up to out of push to talk, but go ahead and set the scene.
Okay. Keel, you see black, and you're not awake. At least you don't think you are. If you are, you don't hear anything and you don't see anything. And that is when you hear a familiar voice that says, "Oh, you disappoint me."
I didn't break our agreement, Master.
On the contrary, you've merely been postponing. Is this part of your scheme? Have you turned against me?
You have the shard. That's what you wanted.
It is only a part of what I want. But thank you. You and your comrades did well.
I could have done a lot more with my powers. I just wanted to make sure they were alive, that's it. Why do you think I hit you with Raise and it wouldn't affect someone as strong as you?
You did well. You fought valiantly. I think now we can discuss the next steps.
I look down at myself, what do I see?
You see just your normal body, the one that you would perceive yourself as. So really you can choose whatever you want because your soul literally represents ambiguity.
Why am I the only one that looks the same in here?
Because you don't know anything else, Q. You've always been this way, unsure of who you are, always grasping for your next identity. I remember the first time you bled in my name. Excuse me, Jesus. Not because I made you, but because you believed in me, in purpose.
What am I? Who am I?
You just are. The others, they will abandon you. They always do, don't they?
She gets flashes of previous groups that she has partaken in, including a family that flits past, that have strange visuals to what she views herself now as.
But I will never stop watching over you, never stop wanting. There is a throne waiting for you in the heart of it all, Keel.
So can you repeat that last word?
It says there's a throne waiting for you in the heart of it all, Keel. It sings your name. Can't you hear it? It's actually at this point that you just hear like a cacophony of screams. And you're seeing all of these flashes in your mind of all of the people that either sacrifice themselves in the name of Vagos to power his ambitions, or you've even witnessed some people taken. And you have personally witnessed people's souls getting ripped out of their bodies and their fates being completely overwritten. And he says, "You've been witness. You've always been at my side. Why the change of heart?"
They seem different. I don't think they would. I don't think they would abandon me. They seem to care.
Caring is for the weak, Keel. I can give you everlasting comfort. No more staring, no more pointing. No one will whisper as you walk by. They will cower.
At least have them. Can keep them, at least.
For now, I am feeling generous. In the meantime, you have one last important mission.
What is it, Master?
You are to bring them to the door. You know which one I speak of. And immediately, your mind is flooded with memories that you can't recall or at least didn't before now. You are kind of standing in front of this massive door. And when I say massive, we're talking like a colossus could go through it. And it's built into a mountain range that stretches so far up that it breaks the clouds. And you remember being in front of this door, and you're alongside Vagos, as he was. And he has his arms raised towards the sky, and a storm is brewing overhead, and lightning is striking the ground in front of you, and you're seeing the doorway itself start to kind of light up. There are these sigils that are on the face of the door, carved with what must be some kind of massive tool or a chisel. And they're lighting up this sort of, it's kind of a white color, but these are runes that you've never seen before in your life, at least until now. I don't know if you have, do you have anything, what are your languages?
All of them.
Okay. Primordial.
Yep. I advise the Runekeeper. I can read all languages.
All right. So this easily is recognized as primordial.
Library.
Yep. But there's a twist in them, and it's a familiar one. It's some of the wording is carved differently, and certain letters or symbols should be in other places. So this appears to be some kind of very esoteric form of primordial, and immediately your memory snaps back to those words that kind of mirrored the ones that were in the book. And it seems once these runes light up, you see a bit of lightning actually strike the ground really close to Vagos, so much so that he kind of steps back and loses his concentration, and the sigils just kind of weaken and go back to normal, and you see him get really angry before your memory cuts out. But there is one thing that stands out amidst his ranting and raving as his ritual fails. And it's something to the effect of, this is how, he says, but this is how I win forever.
As her memory snaps back, the ritual fails. She touches her neck, and a scar along her entire top of her neck appears and disappears as a memory that hurts her comes to her.
Okay.
I won't let you fail again. I promise.
Says, I trust you, Keel. You have this fire that I think you share with the others. It's truly inspiring to watch. Use it. Get them to the door. Then you can simply step aside or join them.
I get to keep them. They become unharmed, but I get to keep them. Please.
And that's when you don't really feel his presence that much anymore, nor like the angst that you have when he's around. And he didn't really confirm any of that. So you're not sure what he's going to do.
She
But-
sets the hyperblade, and as he goes, her force kind of like goes away for a little bit. In her own mind, she's trying to keep hold of her like quadrupedal form with 4 limbs as like scars and bubbles come upon her, and she's able to like try to keep hold of it. Just thinking about her friends that she's made, and she's able to stay her.
Okay. I think what I'll do now is when you awaken, you feel as though you're falling. Like there's this weird sensation in your stomach that causes you to... you're twisting and flailing around. Do you want to do anything at this point?
At this moment, I will try to look down to see where I'm falling to.
Okay. You see a what appears to be a platform that you are rushing very quickly towards.
Upon seeing the platform, I quickly try to elongate my skin and stretch it out to try to slow my thing.
Mhm.
And I'm guessing I see small little dots
Yeah, you
on the
do.
platform.
Yep.
As I do so, I will cast glibness on myself.
Okay.
One of my level 8, one of my level 8 spells.
Oh my god.
He's using it to light us. Damn it.
You that Okay. I like it. So everyone who is waiting on the platform, you can't hear anything but whispers all around you, and then Azra's talking to you. But you've kind of this rush of air goes past you. You're getting really close, and then what do you do?
I try to I take my fingers and I turn them into talons, and I just tear my skin to try to turn it into a parachute.
Okay.
Real quick, Tim.
Yeah.
Were there like multiple paths like that we were like all walking on like this platform has multiple paths connecting to it, and then we all just like get there, or did we create the paths as we walked?
You created them as you walked.
So there would be no indication where Keel's path would come from.
Correct.
Okay. I think Keltry is just standing at the edge where there is no path, like looking down at it and into the darkness. He's about to give his weird idea before Keel comes into the scene. I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
And as I land, my skin slowly like sloughs back in to cover my stomach and ribcage.
Maybe we could reach out to Keel, make a path. Oh!
Flop. So
Ow!
some of these tendrils actually help stay your fall a little bit, Keel. They kind of reach out and grab you as you fall, soften the blow.
God, I might not be fully alive, but that still fucking hurts.
Well, guess what? That means you're alive. I walk over and try to help her up.
Same.
Thank you, guys.
Azra says, I was wondering where you would come from, actually. Yours has always been the wild card.
Wait, you guys didn't fall?
No,
No.
Does it look like I fell?
I was able to I was walking on a set path, and then I was able to start creating my own path, and I think that's a metaphor for something, but I'm gonna have to examine that later.
And I just walked a straight path as we talked.
I also
Good.
had a path, and that I met my father and my mother on that path, and then I ended up here.
I almost
Please,
freeze.
sorry, you could go first, Peach.
I was just I almost fell.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot to tell you guys what happened on my path. Later.
Also, Zim, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
What do I feel from Roland seeing Keel?
Well, again, there's not happiness, but Keel, do you still have the tattoo on you, or the brand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well,
All right, then yeah, you'll feel a little bit of anger, but the other side of you is telling your angry side to shut the hell up.
is everybody okay? Is nobody hurt?
Yeah, I'm good. All
Am
three
I
of
still
us.
glowing?
Yes, you are.
Great.
You said your light would guide the way.
I feel like a human-shaped lamp, but I guess I'm okay.
You do look like one.
You look good in light. Oh, as
I always knew you were brighter than you looked.
what
was
was
about-
that? Was Azarus with us in Emamod?
uh,
And why is he even hotter?
Azra's speaks up. He says, I understand this is probably a bit confusing, but I will explain along the way. We had to wait for you because we must continue together. It is the only way out, and the only way we can at least force our way out here.
You're right. You're right. I'm getting some memories from the Keswick being here. He looks so familiar with that face, Azarus. It's weird. I don't know if we met each other when you were younger. I remember. I think your mom must have put something inside of me to make me remember. I know a way out of here.
Okay, I believe you. By the way, so just to be clear, we all heard Vagos trying to fuck with us on our way through, right?
Guess for
Yep.
Vegas too.
Yeah, he. Okay, you know what? It is later now. He showed me how my father turned me into, well, this. He like gestures to himself very specifically the transparent hands, because the ghost thing is like.
Ghost thing.
Yeah. Apparently, it was a joint effort between him and my mother, and well, he said I killed him.
So sorry.
It's fine.
It's no. That's
No, it's fine. Because do you want to know what? You don't want to know what killed? It doesn't change anything. The only reason why he had to do that to me was because Vagos infected my entire family with the plague. If we were plague-free, he wouldn't have had to do that. He would be standing here. It's his fault. Remember that.
I understand.
He's responsible for
Everything.
everything. And he will pay.
Yep.
He'll get
And
it.
if he succeeds,
He won't succeed because we will stop him. And
agreed.
then
Don't worry. I'll help get him what he deserves. Trust me.
exactly.
As
And then we finally get to live our own lives.
Yes, we get to live.
Yeah. Right? And Keltri looks at Zara.
So, we have to find it. We have to take a bit of searching. But there's a door. There's a door that bridges here in the real world.
The door to tomorrow?
Yes, yes, yes.
I've been staring at that on the map for months, thinking like, why would such a door exist? And then it makes sense. Anyway,
Um,
so what? So just wondering, what did he tell you guys? Vegas, like when he was trying to tell you like join me.
Yeah, basically that.
Yeah.
He tried convincing me that revenge isn't a good thing to do.
Well.
the irony in that statement, I know.
Here's the thing: it isn't, but it's like I said, his fault. So, just this one time, you can have a little revenge as a treat.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a snack-sized murder.
He said that I should join him if I wanted to have victory, and I told him the only victory I was interested in was my arrow going through his heart.
Well, I think that will be a wonderful victory, but I think there's an even greater victory waiting for you, Zara.
And what is that?
Getting to live without being defined by what hurt you. You know.
I think I'd prefer just to have the revenge right now.
Well, one leads to the other.
Azarus, he says, I urge you, as we go forward, we must not leave each other's side. Am I clear?
Yeah, yes.
I nod.
The stronger, the more that we are together, the more he cannot influence us. You'll notice that he cannot speak when we are together.
His voice is quite annoying.
I thought I just.
I
There's
was
a presence about him.
I was told that I have to lead the way. Does that mean I should come up and walk next to you, Azarus?
You may go forward. I will be right behind you. And sure enough, there's something inside you, Zara, that kind of tells you to go down one very specific path, and it kind of seems to be a very small one. It's off on the other side of the platform, several hundred feet away, and the pathway is very thin wisps, like almost as if it's kind of wondering if it's gonna be a path, where it's like, little tendrils here and there. Some of them are touching, some of them are just veering away, and then as soon as you bring your light close enough, they're all like and they all interweave into a path that leads forward.
Nice.
And it is at this point that you all are pressing onward through the darkness that you keel. Now remember one specific thing that Vagos told you a long time ago that also kind of coincides with what the Keswick have taught you. And that is, when someone is able to access the door to tomorrow, they not only gain access to the dreamscape, they also are able to potentially seal a fate. And to you, that means one thing. Not only does Vagos have to usurp the control and the power from the gods. He also has to write within fate itself that it cannot be undone. And that's where we're going to call it tonight.
Hey.
No, that was all dope.
So
can only do
basically, we gotta pull the plug on his computer before he can save the PDF.
Yeah.
The door to tomorrow
Fucking go.
allows him to solidify fate and become it, essentially.
Oh my God,
Once,
I don't like him.
once he captures hold of everything, he can just be like, bloop. Now I'm supreme, all powerful. You can't do a thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
So what were you guys' thoughts on me taking glibness as my 8th level spell?
I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were just gonna do what you did last time and lie to him and then pull a and then try your best not to join him, but then you pulled out glibness and I was like, oh, okay. But then again, I've also been in campaigns, like 2 campaigns now, where somebody has betrayed me. So I also was just like, oh God.
I really hope not, man. I can't listen.
You have such hope for Keel.
Listen, man.
Guys, we'll say this.